Hey guys, what's up? So recently I just received a lot of request email to just ask me like how to do a presentation in our final demo and presentation. So yeah, I would just make a slides to talk more about that, and I just want to clarify some of the ideas. So first is like you need to prepare a PowerPoint slide to present that online. So as all of our project are like a data science related presentation, right? So you need to make this presentation like a good storyteller. So you need to have like a beginning, a middle, and the end. And it's recommend to use the framework like CRISP BM or OS EMN to just organize your narrative. If you don't know how to what are those terminologies, you can just click on the link here. So it will just guide you to the YouTube video to clarify what is the framework look like. And also like based on those logic, so you can also like apply the similar logic to your final report. Yeah, so next, I will just give you some recommendation of the slides. So normally I will recommend you to make the slide like 12 to 15. So typically your presentation will be like 15 to 20 minutes. So no more than 25 minutes. So it's up to you. So you are okay to just demo your code running stuff, right? So yeah, it really depends on your project, right? So you don't want to to show us like the training process. The training should even like a complicated one can last for several hours, right? Uh yeah, so the part one should be like the prelude. So this is firstly we will be the setting the scene. So normally it can be four to three to four slides. So the first slide will be the title slide. It will contain like your project title, name, and the team member, institution and course name, and the advisor name and the date. And the second slide is like the problem statement or motivation. So you should talk about why uh should we care about this problem and clearly define the business or research problem into one or two sentences and explain the project's background and importances, right? So you can just give some idea if you don't have this research or don't have this kind of work, anything will goes wrong or something. Yeah, and also you need to underline the value of the solving this problem. Okay, and next slide will be the project objective, right? So the key answer is what are we specifically going to do, right? And also like here is just like the outline for you, right? So you should not make a slide is like a just like a Q&A section, right? So you should not expect I should not expect you to have the presentation like you list the question, what are we specifically going to do? And with the question mark, and then you start to answer the question, right? This is just a question to guide you to make the content, right? And then you need to translate the problem statement into specific measurable data science objective. So for example, you can listing what is your primary objective. And for example, you want to build a predictive model to identify the customer at the high risk of churn. Or like a secondary objective is analyze the key factor driving the customer to provide some insight for marketing department, right? Yeah, so this is the third slide. And for the fourth slide, you can briefly list the sections of your presentation to set a clear expectation for the audience. So you can just give the agenda or outline here. And also like in the part two is the main body. So this is like the showcase of your work. So you can have like a 6 or 8 slides here. So really important stuff is the first is like the in terms of the data. So it contains like you can just split them into different slides. So here is just some example for that. So you may first to talk about the data resources and data descriptions, right? As all you know, like all of our data has, yes, some of the, mostly the data you are using are clean data, right? But and also our data comes from the Kaggle data set, right? So you should like then you should like describe what is the data, like the basic data information, right? The number of rows, number of columns, and also you can include a summary table of the data dictionary or a screenshot of the raw data if you can show that. And then you can just explore, talk more about the data exploration and the visualization, right? So it can be like several different slides. It really depends on you. And this part, your question is like, what is your initial story? That's the data tell. Yeah, and also this is the key section to demonstrate your analytic skills. And you can show like the distribution of the key feature, like the histogram or box plot, and show like some of the status of the target variables, like the class ratio. So for example, if you are doing the classification work, so it is the labeled class balanced if this is like a balance or imbalance. And also you need to show the correlation between the features. So you can have like a for example the heat map. Yeah, and also like when you want to put the picture or chart, so you must give them a really clear title and a conclusion, right? So for example, you can say like from this chart, we can see like 80% of transaction come from 20% of the customer, indicating the highly imbalanced data distribution. Okay. Yeah. So those are like some key points. Yeah. And the next is about like a data pre-processing and the feature engineering. So the crew question here is how did you clean and prepare for the data? And you need to briefly explain what issues you handled. For example, you handle like a missing value, like uh, you delete or you use like any data imputation technology, or how do you handle with the outlier, or like the category variable encoding? Do you use like any one hot or label encoding, or like a feature scaling? For example, you just use those feature value into scale to from like a 0 to 1 or something, or you have already create some new features, right? Yeah, so this one you don't need to go too deep into the technical details. You need to just summarize the main steps. Okay. Uh, and the next part is the modeling and the methodology. So this is like what method do you try and the why? And so you should list the model you explain in you have the you have done in the experiment. And you should also explain why you choose those models. So you can just give some reasons. So for example, like a logistic regression. So this model is is well known for its interpretive, right? And the random forest is good for like handle the nonlinear relationships. And also you should like clarify, yeah, for example, like before did you apply this model, so you find, well, this is you find like the target label is kind of like a non, it contain like a non-linear features. Yeah, and also like you need to briefly state your evaluation matrix. For example, in the classification part, like the accuracy, precision, record, F1 score, and also the confusion matrix, if you had, right? And also like the result and the model evaluation part is like so here is like the cool question is like which model is the best. So normally you have already like try for a lot of different models, right? And how good it is. And this is the climax of your presentation, and you can use the table or chart to clearly compare the performance of different models, and you can show the detailed evaluation of the best model. Like you can like show like a confusion matrix or like a feature importance plot. And also you can explain your model's performance on the test set and compare to the baseline model. Like you can also show like how many percentage have increased from in terms of the performance, in terms of the like the arrow, or in terms of the speed, or in terms of anything like yeah, any, well, when you do the comparison, right? So you can always find the better one, like how good it is, right? Yeah, and the part number three is like the conclusion and the future outlook part. So normally you can have like 3 to 4 slides. So this part is like a discussion and a business insight. So so what do this result means, right? And what did we learn? So actually, this is the part we are actually want to answer. So you can explore before like exploring the feature, right? So you can explain the feature importance, like which factor most influence the prediction and what business insight does this provide. You can say like we find the core duration last month is most important factor in the predicting charm. So we recommend something blah blah. And also you can discuss more about the model's limitation and potential bias. Okay. And next is like the conclusion and the recommendation part. So for this part is you need to like summarize the entire project and propose the next steps. So you can reiterate the project objectives and the main findings. Yeah, you can provide the specific and actionable recommendations based on your analyze. For example, we recommend deploying this model into to run like weekly or a list of high risk customer to success. Yeah, something here. And also next you can talk about the future work, right? So the cool question to answer is like, what would you do if you had more time or and the resources? So you can this part you can demonstrate your critical thinking and the long-term visual. So the example for that is like you can, for example, you can say like you want to try more complex model, or like you want to integrate the model as a real-time API or conduct the A/B test to validate the model's effectiveness. And also another part is Q&A and the sanction part, thank you part. Okay. And yeah, so this is like just a recommendation for uh the PowerPoint slide, what the PowerPoint slide you should have, right? and also some of the general formats and the design requirements. So I just give you some tips here. Okay, so the first thing is like the simplicity is the key. So you should like each slides only convey only one cool idea. So do not like just putting a large chunk of the text. So you can use the bullet points. So if you like just to put a large block of text and make the audience really frustrated to follow, so you will lose point. Okay, and uh, and also use a lot of like a visualization. Okay, a picture is worth 1,000 of words, so use more charts and graphs, and fewer tables and text. Okay, and the third one is the consistency. So you can use the unified color scheme and fonts. So it is recommend to use like a dark background with the light text, or you can use the light background with the dark text. Okay, and also you can use the consistent chart style, and all chart must have the clear title, axis label, and legends. Okay. And also another thing is like the readability. So fonts should be the large enough, the back of the room to see it quite clearly. So typically like the title, it should be large enough. The body text is also be large enough as well. Okay. And also the storytelling. So you should like connect all slides with the clear narrative strand. So your role is to data detective. So review the truth of the case to your audience. And the last part is like the code display. So do not just put the large block of your code in your presentation PowerPoint slide. So you will lose point in your final presentation. And if you must show your code, only include like the most critical 1 or 2 lines or present it using pseudocode or like an architecture diagram. Okay. Yeah, some of the suggestion I can give that to you is like you need to like practice several times, strictly control your time and ensure the fluency, and explain your chart. So don't just throw a chart into your audience. You need to guide them on where to look and explain what the chart demonstrates, and also like handling the questions. So you need to know your question inside and out. Uh, you can answer what you know honestly. For things you don't know, suggest the idea for the future research. Okay. Yeah, so that's all for all I want to talk about. Okay.